Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dewey's Art Club. Today, I wanted to talk about how I use my Hobonichi Cousin for memory keeping and just kind of show you how I've set it up and what I'm doing with the days and just some things that I've learned as a first time Hobonichi user. I actually kind of stumbled across this product and I am just obsessed with it. I love it. It's great for my daily creative practice, and I feel like it's a great combination of like art, scrapbooking, memory keeping. It's all of the things that I would do separately that now I can just have kind of in one place, which I love. So, as far as how I've kind of set this up, I added this little intro page with like when I started it, kind of what this planner is, and just kind of like a little outline for anyone who picks this up and kind of doesn't understand what it is or what exactly is in these pages. And I thought this was just kind of like a cute addition. Even if you're just using it for yourself, I feel like this is just like a fun little area to decorate. On my full year calendar, I started by doing travel, and in hindsight, I probably would have done something a little different just because I feel like my creative side has kind of changed a lot, and I would kind of like to do something in a different direction next year. But we're keeping it as it is for this year, and I think next year I'll kind of play around with something different. My year at a glance, or my 6 month view, whatever you want to call it, I love how this page turned out. I think it's so cute. I have been recording everything that my boyfriend and I watch or play, and I have it kind of like color coded by like what type of content we're consuming. And I will say this has come in handy so many times when we can't remember what episode we were on. To go back and look at this has been amazing. I also, like, if I watch multiple things in a day, I'll just kind of record it in this like overflow area. For my monthlies, I initially started with just doing a picture a day, and I really wanted to practice drawing more and just doing that every day. And so I decided to kind of start doing little doodles in here. Like this one, I was playing with color, which I wasn't a fan of. I used like those gel pens, and I don't know, it wasn't doing it for me. So I switched back to the black in white, and yeah, I kind of went with that for a few months. And then this month, I was trying to be more intentional about pushing myself out of just starting one thing and continuing it. I'm really guilty of that. Like if I start doing black and white, I feel this need to like carry that through the whole year. These pages I'm kind of using as like an index. So, you could flip to a page and see like, oh, this one has a cake or a birthday cake. So there was a birthday that day. Um, and then being able to go to January 10th in my dailies and kind of like see what that's all about. I also have been using these little like magnetic bookmarks to just quickly mark what page I'm on, um, just so I can like flip to it really easily. My vertical weeks, I am kind of using as like a timeline of what happened that day, and I'm filling it with things that like didn't really make it to the daily pages. It's definitely kind of taken that pressure off to like record every little thing in the dailies because I can just throw a little picture note in here. I actually got my cousin in February, so I was kind of backdating all of this stuff. And so I kind of started by putting little pictures in. And like, yeah, some weeks I just like didn't have a picture, didn't remember anything. And just kind of like threw whatever in. This one you can kind of see I'm trying to kind of like add a little bit more. This day, like one sad little note. Same thing here, and I was trying to kind of like keep it one pen color, even though it looks really sad with just like one little note at the top. And this one I kind of started to be like, okay, like I could add like a little picture of the movies that we're watching, or just kind of adding stickers or whatever. This page, I kind of started playing more with like filling up the space and adding things I'd collected throughout the week or like stickers that were relevant. The next week, I kind of wanted to add more. I started kind of collecting little things of like, oh, where am I going to put that? It doesn't fit on the daily. So I started putting it in here. You can kind of see like I kind of started getting more comfortable with it and adding more kind of artsy stuff, filling it out more, adding more stickers. I would put kind of what we were watching or playing. And then I got a sticker printer, and then I feel like I started kind of like adding more because I could make stickers that would kind of like match the color and theme. I am kind of keeping these in order of what happened that day, like a little log of like what the day looked like. On holidays, especially, like I would take a bunch of pictures and they don't fit on the daily page. So the next week, I just kind of stick them on the side here. This page, I was really kind of playing with adding more text, less pictures. I also kind of wanted to get away from just using the columns and staying within that. This week I tried that for the first time, just doing like pictures of the week. I kind of carried that over to this page, which I kind of just like stuck it at the top. So we still had kind of space to record the following days. I just love this. Like from these little sad pages to this has been like incredible to see. I have also set up a swatch page. I love this page. I reference it constantly. I love it when I'm in the daily pages. I always just like flip back to this. Having the names and what type of pen, like if I wanted to buy it again, having that is so nice. As far as my daily pages, I have kind of like chosen what I want that page to be about, and then I'll kind of fill it in the next day just because I have a really kind of clear idea about like what I want that page to look like. I really wanted to have this be like a little creative moment for the day, and just like a mix of drawing, junk journaling, scrapbooking. I have loved it. It's been great to experiment and just kind of like learn what new mediums are like. I definitely, like when I was backfilling, didn't have any pictures or memories of the day. And so I just like slapped a sticker down. But I have gone back and like added little drawings or just like extra things that I wanted to include and just like stick it in there. Like this is from March 5th. I did that on this page where I wanted to just like draw, and I just did a double spread, filled it out, and just like removed those stickers. I played with like little interactive things and cards, which has been really great because I am so guilty of like hoarding cards and little things that I find because I don't want to throw them out. And this is like the perfect place to put all of that stuff. This was kind of experimental, like with borders and colors, washi tape. This one was super fun. I was kind of experimenting with all of the little like paper scraps I've collected, and a great way to kind of use all those extra paper scraps that you collect. Here's another example. Like my hairstylist leaves like the cutest notes on these appointment cards. I want to keep them because they're so cute, but then I just have all of these sitting around, so I just printed out like a little copy of them and just put them in there. In the beginning, I wasn't really like doing anything in these pages. I think I kind of want to like try doing a bunch of different things on here. I know people do like some like a selfie every month for the year, which I think is a really cute idea. My boyfriend did like 10 days of Valentine's, which was adorable. and he left like a little note with every gift. And this was like so perfect to put this in. Like I put his little letter in this envelope and just threw it in there, and then kind of like keeping the theme the same. And these were kind of like the first pages that I did when I got my Hobonichi, because I had all the stuff and I knew I wanted to put this in here. So this was kind of a good way to kind of like get comfortable working in this. This page, I was really wanting to kind of practice like putting interactive things in here and like using packaging from things that I got. This was definitely like an experimental page for me. This spread I love. I was really experimenting with tracing paper, which I've actually loved and like carried that through the rest of my dailies. I love it because you can like draw a logo, and then if you want the background filled, I just like paint over the back and I don't have to like worry about going along these little tiny lines. And yeah, like here I was practicing that. This one I like went all out for this video game cover, which is kind of funny, but I had so much fun doing this, and it was just like a great little mini art project for that day. This one I was really like experimenting with stickers for my border, which I definitely like tried and like continued doing that. Like this page, I tried it again just with like all frog stickers. And like anytime I do this, I really love it. And it's just kind of like a good way to kind of like sticker bomb and use up stickers. This page I marked because I got my first brush pen and it was rough. Like I was not doing well with it, but I think that's a really good reminder. Like this is such a good space to just like practice doing stuff and to not put so much pressure on yourself for everything to be perfect. This one, I was really like experimenting with having the colors be kind of matching on the pages, and I love how this turned out, and I've definitely like done this again in my other dailies. Again, kind of like practicing a double spread. This one, I filled the kind of like monthly page for the first time. I wanted to try doing kind of like my favorite memory from the month prior, because I think it'll just be really cute to like look back and see like what was most important to me that month, or like my favorite just standout thing. Again, this is another one where I was kind of like practicing just using a brush pen, and it did not turn out good in my opinion, but I kind of like that. Like I look back and I'm like, oh, that's when I got my pen and I didn't know how to use it, which is kind of funny. And also, I feel like kind of like doing something that I didn't like really helped me kind of get past that fear of like doing something that wasn't super artsy or perfect. This page, I again was using like the tracing paper drawings, and I also started kind of like tracing things, like laying them on the page and just like doing the outline, just because like she was getting thick and I didn't want to put like thick cardboard tags in here. So I was just like, I'm going to trace them and draw what's on them. These were both pages where I didn't want to write a whole lot. So I kind of just did like giant logo of like where we went that day, and then just kind of like scraps that related to the topic. Here's like another cool thing about the tracing paper. Like I covered the background, but I left this square blank so you can see the page behind it, and like writing a little note in there. I loved that. This one I was kind of experimenting with like texts and adding those into my spreads. This page, I got my first happy planner and I didn't want to write a whole lot, so I just like printed out a giant picture of the inside cover and like overlaid little pictures of what the outside covers look like and just wrote in it and like called it good. Again, this page, I was really struggling this week to like write and fill the pages, and so I like I just pulled out like my Tombow marker because it was thicker and I could just like kind of fill up more space quickly. Same with this one. This one I was kind of playing with like using a little highlighter to like make a border. And this spread I love. I think it's so cute. I had kind of like multiple things that I wanted to like really kind of write about that I didn't have space for in the vertical weeks. And so I just made this little like side column with like this morning, this afternoon, and then this evening was what I really wanted to write about. So I kind of made that the main page. This one I was kind of like practicing with like changing the direction of the lettering just so I wasn't always writing like left to right. This one, again, using that like tracing paper, I went to a quilt show with my mom, and anywhere we bought something from, I just like redrew the business card and just stuck it in there just to kind of keep the chunk down. I do want to talk really quick about kind of like what felt like a flop for me. Um, I feel like there's one page. These two pages, I had like furiously backfilled my cousin after getting it, and this was like the first day that I was like working in it day of, and I kind of tried to do that on this page, and I realized that when I was trying to kind of like work on it the day of or like fill it out as the day went on, it almost kind of ended up being like the vertical pages, like very kind of like bulleted and just not very like clear. And so I feel like after this, I kind of learned to do my daily page like the next day because then I had a really clear idea of like what I wanted to make the page about. I mean, I feel like these layouts work, but it wasn't kind of scratching that creative itch. I feel like what has really worked for me, if I don't really know exactly like the one thing I want to make the page about, is like adding these little side elements with just like this one, like today's side quest. So I could put a little picture and a little note that I wanted to expand on that maybe wasn't in like the vertical weeks. And also kind of learning like if I don't know what I want to fill the page with, like this one I did my nails, so I like put what polish I used and like slapped my hand down, traced it, and I think it turned out really cute. I think like looking back, I feel like my style has changed to just like have fun with it and like just like experiment. And I feel like in the beginning I was so worried about like ruining it that I wanted to keep everything like very structured. And like towards the end, like like these two pages, I'm just like doing a double spread instead of feeling like, oh, I want to like keep everything that happened on like this day on this page. And that's been really fun to just like not care and just like have fun with it. Going into next year, I definitely want to not like worry about everything being perfect. And also kind of like on these pages, just like really experimenting more and trying different things for the monthlies. I still like don't really know what I want to put in these back note pages. I know that there aren't that many, but yeah, like I put like a sticky for like TV movie list on here. Obviously did not do that. So I think that's something I'm going to try next year is to like find out kind of what I want to put in these little like back note pages. I feel like what surprised me the most about this was how it really kind of helped me tap back into that like daily creative practice. Also, like I used to do a scrapbook at the end of the year every year, and it was just so overwhelming. It was like this giant task, and I couldn't kind of remember all of those little things that happened throughout the day that I love to record and remember. And this has been so fun for like my creative practice, for that memory keeping part of it. And I just love like the idea of someone picking this up off of coffee table and just like being able to look through the whole year with like cute little pictures and little blurbs about that day, or even just like my kids picking this up and being able to kind of see like who I was, what I liked, and what I was doing. I just love that whole idea. Thank you for watching, and thank you for coming to Dewey's Art Club. I'm so excited to continue sharing like how I'm working in this and all my other journals, just like what products I'm using, what kind of art things I'm adding in here. And I just love this little like journaling community, and I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for watching.